Good afternoon, fellas. My name is Andre Norman, and I'm here this afternoon to have a conversation with you about you going home. I applaud the fact that you're about to wrap up your time inside. I know you're excited about going out and being with your family again and seeing your friends and just having the ability to move around. But before you go home, there's just a few things I need you to think about because they're really important and going to be real helpful to you staying out and having a better life. In this video, we're going to talk about the options of you staying out and how do we make that happen. So you can think about some things before you go out there. The objective of this tape is to help you stay out. I don't want to see you come back. The staff doesn't want to see you come back. And I trust you don't want to come back. You've had enough. Because again, freedom is an option that you have. You do not have to come back. So today, we just want to go over a few things to help you understand how you can best stay out. And for that to happen, there's some things that you need to have in place to make sure you have continued success. I myself sat in juvenile detention, but I didn't take the time to think through how can I stay out and how can I be successful. I just need you to just sit and listen for the sole purpose of you just thinking about how to stay home. These are just some of the ideas that I've come up with to help you in the process of you staying out. So today we're going to talk about finding a caring adult. We're also going to talk about staying in treatment. How do you develop a treatment plan? How do you maintain a treatment plan? The big thing we're going to discuss, are you sacrificing your education for employment? We're going to talk about family dynamics and what your family looks like. And lastly, we're going to discuss mistakes. We all made them, we're all going to make them. And how do you get past them? So, having gone through the system, I put this video together to help you look at it from a different perspective. I was born in Boston, single parent home. My father sold drugs. My stepfather robbed banks. I grew up to be somebody who robbed drug dealers. It's a real simple science. 6th grade, I met girls. It was a wonderful thing. It's a new turn in life. I stopped playing sports. I chased after girls. That was my new sport. Got to high school, party land. More girls, more access, more freedom. I stopped going to school. I hung out in the street, sold drugs, robbed drug dealers, got money. Story's not unique to you. Got out of high school, I dropped out after 4 years. Went to hustling full time. I drove a Benz, I wore jewelry, I traveled to Europe, did a lot of things. Like the rest of you know, at some point it comes to an end. Went to court. 7 to 10 year state prison, 2 9 to 10 year state prisons, 2 10-year state prison terms, 2 15 to 20 year state prison terms. Then the feds came in behind that, hit me with an armed career criminal statute and smacked me on top of the head and said, have a nice life. They put me in a van, they drove me to the state penitentiary and they dropped me off. You've ridden in these vans where there's the 2 cages, cage in the front, cage in the back. I'm sitting in the back cage and they had a juvenile in the middle cage. I'm on my way to do 25 years. And I looked at the kid in the middle cage and I said to him, he was on the way to a juvenile detention center. I said, bruh, I'm on my way upstate to do 25. You don't want this. Please go the other way. All that morning, all my life, I was the toughest, smartest, illest dude I knew. But when I sat in that van and I looked at that 15-year-old kid sitting in the back seat, 3 years younger than me, something in me said, tell him he doesn't want this. And I tried in that little 10-minute ride we had before we got to the juvenile center to tell him, you don't want this. The first thing you need to think about is finding a caring adult. What is a caring adult? And why do you need one? A caring adult is just somebody who's older, who's been around, and understands life. Why do you need them? Because a lot of mistakes that you're looking to make, they've already made. So why make them twice if they can help you get through them the first time? Some of the traits that you're going to look for in this person are they patient? Are they trustworthy? Have they worked with kids before? And do they understand you and can you get along with them? As a juvenile, as a young man, you're looking to go outside, you're looking to do things, you really need to have a caring adult in your life. You might say, I'm grown, I can do this on my own. I've been doing this on my own. That might be true, but to have an adult, someone who's been around, who understands how things work, and can help guide you. It's not to dictate your life or take over your life. It's just to have somebody in your life who can say to you, hey, you might want to look at it from this perspective. Or sometimes they tell you, no, you can't do that. It's just that simple. No, that is a bad thing for your life, and do that. Now, there are short-term caring adults and there's long-term caring adults. Right now, you're in detention. The staff, for the most part, will be considered short-term caring adults. A lot of institutions have rules that prohibit staff from interacting with youth on the outside. At some point, you're going to leave this institution, and when you do, you won't be able to have contact with some of these adults. But while they are here, they are more than willing to help you through your issues and deal and plan for your life. So they would be considered short-term caring adults. When you do get home and you make it to the other side, long-term adults are what you're looking for. It might be a school teacher. It might be a priest or a pastor. It might be a relative or uncle. Maybe it's your mom or dad if you're lucky. Look for people who have long-term commitment to the community and a long-term commitment to youth. Once you find somebody that you feel comfortable with, and you make the connection, the next step is you have to learn to trust them. You cannot be in a relationship with this person and not trust them. It won't happen overnight, but you have to get to a place where you can trust them and they can trust you. So once you make that connection, you'll be a lot better off. You have to be willing to be open and willing to want help. If you do not want help, all this is for nothing. The number one step in your reentry to a better life is you wanting help. Make up your mind that you want help and accept that you can't do it by yourself. The second thing is you have to be accountable to that person. When you say you're going to do something, do your best to do it. When you say you're not going to do something, do your best not to do it. You're going to be someplace, be there. And if you're not, call and check in and say, you know something, I can't make that appointment. Open communication goes a long way. You want to be spoken to, you want to be told the truth, just trust and believe the adults want the same thing. Another thing we want to discuss is developing and maintaining a treatment plan. You cannot leave here and just say to yourself, my issues don't exist. You have to identify some of the issues that you have. You might have issues around trust. You might have issues around anger, substance abuse issues, or neglect issues. A lot of kids don't understand the concept of being neglected is still abuse. What kind of treatment are you in right now? Are you dealing with anger issues? Are you dealing with trust issues? A lot of people sit in these places and they play games. This is not about games. This is about identifying what is wrong with you. Yes, what is wrong with you? Smoking weed is not cool. Drinking is not cool. Being angry and assaulting people is not cool. Robbing people has never been cool. All it gets you is locked up. So unless you like being locked up, I suggest you sit down and look at the things that are pushing you to do these actions. While you're on the inside, they do have the groups, they do have counseling, they do have clinicians. Sit down with them and say, listen, I know the group is working on anger right now, but I have this real bad substance abuse problem. The group might be working on issues of trust, but you have issues around being neglected. You have to find somebody that you can talk to on the inside about your issues. Begin the process now. Don't try to wait until you get home to say, hey, I'll take care of it later. It's not a later situation. This is a now situation. Some things are to be handled immediately. Identifying your issues and working on them immediately is a now thing. I'm talking about you individually admitting and identifying what your issues are. Do you have trust issues? Do you have anger issues? Do you have issues around substance abuse? Have you been neglected as a child? You can go sit in your own room and just say, hey, where are my issues? And once you identify them, then you move to a place to address them. Don't be afraid to ask for help. If you do not ask for help, the likelihood of you getting help is extremely small. And if you don't get help, the likelihood of you coming back to jail is extremely big. Let's go with the better percentage and let you ask for help. We don't know how to say that we're hurt as boys or young men, but there's a lot of hurt in being let down and disappointed time in and time again. So here you are again, about to go home, and you don't really want to give people the chance to let you down again. But at some level, you're gonna have to trust somebody. And it can't just be your boys that you hang out with. You have to be able to trust people, and they need to be able to trust you. Anger. We all say we're not angry, we're not mad. We are angry at one level. There's a lot to be angry about. You are justified in being angry. You've been done a disservice most of your life. You've had issues throughout your life, and those things resonate with anger. So now you have a little bit of anger in your chest. How do you deal with that? We tend to fight. We tend to scream at people and take it out in a violent behavior, in a violent way. There's other ways to deal with your anger. Being neglected is the toughest, I believe, of most of the abuses we suffer as children. To have somebody just not pay you any attention is a tough thing. You don't exist. You're not worthy to have somebody talk to you. You have to deal with the issue of being neglected. You just cannot let that sit dormant in you. It's a strong, strong, strong emotion that's in you and will come out. And for those of you who have substance abuse issues, whether it's smoking weed, whether it's drinking, whether it's pills, you have to find some form of treatment for that. And while you're inside, they have treatment. And treatment is free on the inside. Ask your staff about drug counseling and mentorship. But first, you have to say you need help. There should be some counseling on the outside when you get there. At your local high schools and junior high schools, at the local churches. Again, you have to ask for this. Nobody's just gonna run up to you, grab you by the collar, and force you into treatment. Force you to do a counseling session. You have to want it for yourself. Education is a huge thing. Treatment for your issues are huge. But first and foremost, you have to go out and aggressively pursue these things, because it's in your best interest that these things happen. Other people might want them to happen. Other people might really, really push for them to happen. But you need them to happen, because unless they happen, you will again suffer like you're suffering now. When you go home, there's gonna be a lot of distractions, a lot of things to do, a lot of things you wanna catch up on, and you're gonna wanna run out there and do them. You have to take care of yourself. Your anger issues, your trust, your neglect, your substance abuse issues do not disappear. Because you get busy doesn't mean your issues go away. So you have to think to yourself, if I want to stay healthy and I want to stay free, I need to work on these issues. When you're outside, how do you do that? If you're affiliated with any court-involved programs, go to the program, see the agent, see the caseworker, and say, listen, I'd like to get an anger management group. I like to get in a substance abuse group. Taking ownership over your own issues is huge. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with you, it just means you want something to be fixed. You have to believe that you're gonna stay alive. You're going to live past 18. A lot of people take these dead-end jobs after school because you know something? They don't believe they're gonna be around long enough to use the education. I have to tell you, you're gonna live. You're gonna live a long time. The question is, do you wanna live as a janitor? Do you wanna live as somebody stocking shelves? Or do you wanna live running your own company? You have to prepare to do the right thing when you go home. It's not just gonna happen on its own. And as you start looking at education, people say, yes, I wanna get an education, I wanna go to college, I wanna go to trade school. All that's true and all that's real. But then once you get outside, the very first thing that pops out your mouth is, I need money in my pocket. I'm broke. I can't be broke. I want to do things. I want to go places. I need money. So now the dilemma is, do you work after school or do you homework after school? You really need to look at what you're getting up and what you're giving. What are the pluses and minuses of working versus going to school? I say your education is going to support you for the rest of your life. You go home, you get a job, you're working, you have some money in your pocket, you feel good about yourself, you can buy the new sneakers and the jeans and the rest. It's a short-term issue. That job that you have after school, do you really want it to be your job as an adult? If you work it now, you might end up working it later. But if you go to school now and you put all your time and energy into school, later on, when you go to college, you'll be that much better prepared and you should end up with a lot better job. Right now, I run my own company. And right now, I'm still in school. And I'll be in school as long as it takes to get all the education I need that I missed when I was your age. You're 16 now. Most people live to be 80. That after-school job is not going to support you for 64 years. Don't shortchange yourself later for now. It's important to look good. It's important to have things. But it's more important to prepare yourself for the next 60 years of your life. So please, don't sacrifice a few pennies now for what you can have later, which is your own sense of being and your own education that will support you forever. They can never take away what you learn. We have to talk about families now. We all came from some family, someplace. A lot of us have taken the families we've come from and disbarred them and created a new family. So in our mind, we all come from the perfect family. The fantasy versus reality. The truth is, our families aren't perfect. The truth is, we got a lot of dysfunction in our house. But you have to find a way to deal with what is and not what we want it to be. There's a lot of relationships that have been messed up. Some your fault, some not your fault. But needless to say, they need to be repaired. You cannot go through life pretending you have this perfect family if you don't. If you do, I'm happy for you. But most of us don't come from perfect families. Our fathers are in a certain situation, our mothers are in bad situations, our sisters and brothers might be in bad situations. It does not mean we can't fix it or come to some resolution about it. Accept your people for who they are and let them be who they are. And go out and be the best person you can be. Assume the responsibility for yourself. Stop waiting for your mother and father to come in and rescue you. That's not how it works. You're grown. You're old enough to be in here, and you're old enough to make decisions for your life. And if you're making the decisions that'll put you in here, let's make some decisions that'll benefit your family. You have younger brothers and sisters that you're looking out for. Do you want your younger brother to be in jail where you are? Do you want your sister dating the guy sitting next to you? If you're there and they look up to you, why shouldn't they be there? And if you're cool and you're their big brother, why isn't the guy sitting next to you cool? Look at what you're doing and how it affects the other people in your family. I cannot change your household, but I can help you change the way you look at it and the things that you do within it. You have an impact on your family. It can be negative or it can be positive. Let's make it a positive one. Maybe you're gonna be the first one in your family who actually shows this is how it's done. Be that man and show it. Set the way. Don't be a follower, be a leader. We all made mistakes. We're here at one level because of a mistake that we made. Don't set limits on yourself. You can do anything. Granted, you made a mistake. You've done something you shouldn't have done. First thing you need to do is forgive yourself. You're not an evil person. You're not a cursed person. This is not the end of the road. The fact that you're watching this video means you're going home. You have to move forward. Get beyond what has already happened. Forgive yourself. Ask for forgiveness for whoever you hurt. And then go out and live a better life. If you're really sorry for what you've done, or you want to make people respect you, then live a good life. Mistakes don't limit where you can go. They just at one level say where you've been. It's not your fault, but at the same time, it is your responsibility. You cannot just go through life saying, oh man, I can't make it. Oh, because I made this mistake, I'll never be nothing. You can be anything you want to be. The fact that I'm sitting on this video says anything is possible. Because it wasn't that long ago, I was sitting in your chair. As you come out of there, please take responsibility for yourself. Stop putting your responsibility of who you're going to be in somebody else's hands.
They say time heals all wounds, and well, you done your time in dark rooms where brothers cry out and others die out under full moons that they ain't seen in years, cause ain't no clear windows here. And it ain't no real kinfolk here, it's only wounds. Only fiends and peers with the meanest fears. And in real life, you feel like your dreams is near, but reality is you just want to show that you're clean and clear and that your freedom's here. Now your screams and tears must be transferred into a means to hear the truth. And the truth is, you ain't going back. You much rather decide to stand and get your life on track. Ain't got no time for no gray areas. All you need is right or black, either right or wrong. You need to live and make sure that your life is long. Instead of you serving life alone with a wife at home, you'd much rather master your mind and make sure your might is strong. See, you're just another guy who's been given another try, transformed into a butterfly. So when I see you flutter by, your wings be like something I ain't never seen before. So unique, and when they get weak, God allows you to soar. And it's funny, because before, you was only a worm, crawling on your belly, trapped on the floor, with your mother in the back like, Lord, save my baby, because I know that he's made us so much more. But you only saw God as a no-touch Lord, which is why the streets just seem to have so much lore. You was caught like meat in the cold cut ore, trapped like in Iraq in this endless war. But this morning, you woke up smiling. This morning, you woke up cheesing, happy to be alive, another day to die for what you believe in. This morning, you woke up smiling, not mourning or grieving about this evening, because every moment that you got for breathing seems like more than a good enough reason for you to smile. See, you are the example of a grown man transformed into an infant child. See, you're different now. You've been set free. You know, you get no credit. You're still debt-free. You've been given a designation to start a celebration, so if you can't find nothing to celebrate for, then please let me. Because this morning, the first morning in a long time that you woke up smiling, they say time heals all wounds. And well, brother, you done your time, so now your wounds are healed. And they transform themselves into wisdom.
Find you a caring adult who can help guide you and give you advice. You need advice, especially if you're getting advice from someone who's already lived it. Treatment. You have issues. You're in here because there's something within you that's not working out right. I don't know if it's anger. I don't know if it's trust. I don't know if it's substance abuse. I don't know if it's drinking. I don't know, maybe you've been neglected. Something in you is not centered right, and treatment can help you get there. When you go home, look for counseling opportunities, whether it's through your school or through your youth service agency. You have to find some treatment facilities that you can get help in. Help is a huge thing, and treatment is real. Education versus employment. A lot of people say, hey, I want a college degree, I want to go play in the NBA, oh, that's wonderful. But you go home, and the first thing you scream is, I need money in my pocket. Education will support you for the entire length of your life. If you don't pay attention, that after-school job will become your full-time job as an adult, and you really don't want that. Family is what family is. A lot of us have created fantasy families. I have the perfect mom, the perfect dad, the perfect brothers and sisters. Accept who your people are, accept their shortcomings, and accept your own shortcomings. Tell the truth, if not to anybody else, but to yourself. My family's not perfect. And in doing so, you can move past that. Some of you in here, because you made a bad choice. The action that you did was a crime, and that bad choice was a mistake. The choice that you made is not forever. The next time you get in a circumstance, think about your options and your rights to make choices. If you're in detention, there's a really good chance that you're going home. So whatever mistake you made has come to an end at one level. You have to forgive yourself. Second, you need forgiveness from the people that you've harmed. And third, move into the future. Stop looking back. It's over. If you really made a mistake and you're really sorry and you want a better life, the best thing you can do to prove to the people that you've harmed, to prove to the people who are saying you can't do it, is just go have a better life. Mistakes can be corrected. So let's correct that mistake and move on to another place. The way you think about yourself is extremely important. You can improve your life if you want to. And if you really want to change your life around and you want to go out and be something special, then you have to believe it first. Think that it's possible, believe that it's possible, and possible will happen. The choices are yours. There's a whole nother life waiting for you. Why don't you go get it?